Okay, hello everybody. Mid-season patch, May 20th, 2025, Overwatch 2. Um, Not much to say. The Street Fighter stuff is here. That I'll probably review on a live stream and things like that. We can talk about over there. We all know why we're here. We want the patch notes for general game because it applies to both 5v5 and 6v6. So let's have a look. Starting us off is Hazard. We'll also be giving a thumbs up and thumbs down to give a general overview of the patch. So Hazard Vault passive ledge climb animation has been reduced, so its quality of life to help him feel a little bit more smooth. It's cool. I like Hazard. He's a healthy tank. And they gave him a major perk. They increased the lifesteal to 40% from 25. I'm not sure if I agree with that. I think Hazard is already very strong, but Orisa has been in a position in the game right now where she's very damn strong. There's also Zarya that Hazard kind of like, I guess a good Zarya Hazard has a little bit of a bad matchup that he doesn't like to take. Then you also account for the fact that Diva is also very damn good. So Hazard's just kind of an awkward spot. I don't think he needs to be buffed. I think we need to look at some of the other stuff that's a bit stronger in the game right now, and then he'll be fine. I still think he's actually surprisingly an A tier tank. I don't think he's even B, honestly. I think he's a very good tank still. Reinhardt. So Reinhardt's doing well in the game, but falls off in effectivity at high ranks. We're increasing the speed and responsiveness of Fire Strike to make it more reliable from range. So projectile speed on Ryan gone up to 30 meters a second, with the recovery time dropping to 0.45. Okay, so this is actually going to be really, really strong with Ryan's Earth Shatter perk, where if he lands a Shatter and he throws a Fire Strike, like, he's had 3 Fire Strikes, so he'll be spamming Fire Strikes much faster. So it's not going to be that good, like maybe during team fights where you're trying to be a little bit more precise and you want to hold the Fire Strike, but definitely during Earth Shatters, because that's like the only time he can actually stun and have synergy with the rest of his kit, the Fire Strikes spam will feel much better. So that's nice. It increases his like overall damage uptime during that playmaking moment. I would say not that he needed it, but it's a welcome change. So far these are like thumbs up, right? So this is like, hasn't changed, might be a bit scary, but it's like, oh, I'm open to it. Like, it's like, sure, let's have a look. Ryan change is really nice, thumbs up, right? It's not like that, but it's like they've said that he falls off the higher up you go, because other tanks are just much better at doing Ryan's job. But low key, don't sleep on Ryan. He's still an A tier character. He's very, very damn good. He just needs a little bit more resources to get going, but once he does, a very, very strong tank right now. And he has an abundance of armor, right? So very good. Moving over to DPS Freya. Okay, so well, I can already see the change over here. They're throwing her quick dash back to 4 seconds, a slap on the wrist. And I've shared my opinion on Freya. I like Freya a lot. She's probably the most one of the most well-designed characters they've released in a while. The problem with Freya is her numbers. Generally speaking, Freya needs her the damage that she does when she has the bolt land on somebody to do a little bit more damage, and then the damage that comes afterwards should be reduced a little bit as well. This way, you can still keep her strong in terms of her uptime with quick dash and updraft without making the character feel worse to play. I don't like it when we approach cooldowns, because the longer you increase cooldowns, the worse the character feels to play, and clunkier. Like, I don't like Overwatch when the game feels clunky, right? Not to say that this makes Freya clunky. 4 seconds is very much a short cooldown, and allows for downtime for where she can be dueled and everything. But I think this is not going to do enough to throw her out of the meta. This is a very slap on the wrist type thing. I hope to see Sojourn down here, and hopefully she's not a slap on the wrist, because that one Sojourn perk is ridiculous. It's a breakpoint increase and allows her to do so much more, regardless if she has pocket or not. So Freya change, I'm sorry, I cannot give this a thumbs up, because it's just a revert, and I want to praise balance changes that are actually actively making a change in the kit. This is just a revert back to previous quick dash. So again, in my opinion, even though I play her a lot and I got to, like, early top 500 with her, I still think you should have nerfed the damage numbers on this character. You should have looked at the damage the bolts are doing when she's using take aim and nerfed that, and then as a compensation, just tighten up the primary fire, because her primary fire is useless. Like, if you close the distance on this character, there's literally nothing she can do about it. So she does have a weakness. She is 225. Yeah, so Freya, I love this character. I do agree she's broken, so just not the way I would have changed her. So I sadly will give this a bit of a thumbs down, because again, don't like it when they make characters feel clunky to play. But this is needed, but I still think more should have come through. This just not enough, and she will maintain her position in the game. Okay, Genji. Oh god, no developer comment. Oh, Hanzo, oh my god, please be a buff. Okay, so Genji is... I I genuinely don't know how to feel about this. This is bad but good at the same time. So they've hurt the dueling potential in order to compensate and shift direction to perhaps becoming better at poking. Now, the interesting thing with this is the projectile speed increasing to allow his poke to be stronger makes his dueling much weaker, right? So dueling is also weaker because your overall sustained damage with the ammo count is much lower now. And we were once in a position where he did have the 24 damage and it felt horrible, right? They accidentally buffed it and they themselves found it harmless that, oh, okay, it's fine, like whatever, right? I don't like this change at all. I think this is just not the, like this, again, this hurts the dueling potential, not necessarily poking, because poking is not really a strong suit. Um, However, I can see this making his poking very, very good. This is a huge increase to the projectile speed. So I don't understand the logic here, because for years this character has been a close range dive slash brawl focused DPS character. But with this weird shift that they're doing, it feels awkward. I think using the fan, like his dueling potential, is going to feel much worse, because when you're trying to flake and all of this, the faster projectile speed means that it's going to affect a lot of muscle memory. But I think the poke is going to be much better. So at the end of the day, this just isn't the way forward with the character. Look, I have my personal mission for the character. I think he should fall into the line of like the other 225 HP DPS heroes, where he is mobile, he should be lethal, where yes, he has, again, I want to be fair, don't want to like overly break the character. I think he should have 28 DPS shurikens. I'm willing to keep the 110 Dragon Blade around as long as his shurikens can feel good, because I've always said that the shuriken damage is divided into three different projectiles. So the chances of you hitting those three all the time is actually like inconsistent. Like it's never going to be 100% accurate. Like there's very, very rare cases, like maybe dueling a tank or something like that, but with how armor has changed in the game and been gigabuffed, like there is places where Genji is struggling. Now I know there's people that say, well, Genji's been a part of the meta. There's some people saying Genji's apparently meta defining. No, meta defining is when a character is literally running the meta. That's characters like Freya and Sojourn, where the entire game is shaped around them. So Genji, he's almost always been a complementary pick to the meta when the game plays the way it does now, because he does a really good job of not only well, again, like they're trying to help him with the poking, like being able to poke these characters, but also once he closes the distance on characters like Freya and Sojourn, it's very difficult for those characters to effectively deal with them if they don't have the movement cooldowns. So very awkward direction. Please, my opinion on this is, for God's sake, put him to 225 HP, give him the 28 or even 29. I think maybe 29 might be a bit too much, but give him the 28 damage shuriken, or even, you know what, even 29, like it's fine. Maybe he needs the 29 in current day and age. I don't know, but I would go with 28 to start to see how he feels. Keep Dragon Blade on 110. I get it. Like, I understand the problems that come with Dragon Blade and Nano Boost, but we could also change the way that works. Again, they should at least try, to see how it goes. So I would probably change all of that and see how the character feels. But I don't agree with the ammo change. This, like, it feels like, hey, we buffed the poke, but we nerfed the dual capabilities. And again, like, the projectile speed being increased also means your muscle memory gets hurt. So I really don't like that, guys. Like, I want to rant, but just look at the top right of my screen. It's 11:35 p.m. I have to wake up for work at 5 a.m. and I don't have the energy. I really don't. Like, at this point, when I see changes like this, that I'm not going to like, this is so unnecessary. This is so unnecessary. Like, this character got a slap on the wrist, and this character is just seeing a complete power redistribution. Like, I don't understand why they think this character is absurdly powerful, to the point that he even has to be here, and it's not a shift in his playstyle. This, like, sure, like, from the perspective of making him like squishier but giving him lethality, I just think that's the way forward. So anyways, these are my initial thoughts on Genji. I'll give a proper breakdown tomorrow on like my honest thoughts on the state of Genji, like now with the changes. I've played this character for almost 10 years. I just need about 2-3 hours worth of game to really get a feel down for how this feels. It might be good, it might be bad, but I'm sorry, like, on first glance, I just don't agree with this direction. It's scary because it just makes me feel like they don't understand why people enjoy this character. People enjoy being able to dive and just tear people apart and kind of chain kills from there with the dash resets. But if they're trying to maybe buff up the poke potential, where his poke has always been like the weakest thing about him, I think he might. There is a possibility that if he somehow becomes a poke demon and like his dual potential is like also still decent with the ammo count, then we are also in line for even more nerfs. And I don't know about that, Chief. Like, I'm probably overthinking it, but 11 p.m. I'm really tired. I've been awake since 5. This is scary stuff. Like, this is like, I'm willing to see it through, but guy, I'm tired. Please just make him what he used to be. Please, just enough with this 250 era Genji. It's making his identity playstyle literally go all over the place, and it's so tiring now. Hanzo, okay, Hanzo's been underperforming recently. I wonder why. They're reverting his drawback speed to its original faster value, and the Sonic Disruption perk isn't being picked because so they want to increase the duration to make it more useful. What? Why? And require less upkeep to control a health pack. Stormbolt Primary Fire back to normal, and Sonic Disruption, the health pack hack time increase from 12 to 30 seconds. Okay, man, Genji and Hanzo, they're my top 2 mains. They're right next to probably Pharah, Echo, and Freya. Like, these are probably my top 5 mains. I play projectile DPS mostly. I can also play hit scan and all the other things, but I prefer playing these 5. Definitely Genji, Hanzo, and Freya nowadays a lot more than anything, right? So those 3, I am definitely a lot more like passionate about when it comes to, well, how are we handling the balance wise. So I agree, Freya needs a nerf. I agree that Genji needs changes, but this is not the way to do it. I'm open-minded to trying it, but I just don't agree with it. It's just not the right way. I've always suggested what I think will be good for the hero, and I think that's still going to be good for the hero because I understand what makes him fun and what people play him for. And the same thing I said for Hanzo, that give Hanzo back his draw speed. He needs it. These changes that were made were absurd, and there was no reason behind it. I could possibly see this happening to Genji as well, that these changes that make no sense, they might make something broken about him that makes no sense. So I don't know. We'll see. But Hanzo getting the Stormbow back is cool. And also with the major perk, this is actually going to be a huge buff because with the major perk, if my assumption is correct, he should be charging the bow incredibly fast and then shooting it out incredibly fast too, because he gets a attack speed increase which allows him to draw the bow faster. So finally, like, nice, this is good. Sonic Disruption, okay. My problem with Hanzo's perks is outside of the bow draw speed and everything, Hanzo's perks just don't make any sense. Like, I've asked this one question and nobody has been able to give me a really good answer for this, is when does a Hanzo player ever say that, oh boy, I want to play around this health pack, or oh, I wish I could hack this health pack and play around it? Hanzo should always be moving and should be active across the map. There is like never a situation where I genuinely believe that he wants to play around a health pack. I'm just gonna keep it real with you guys. Maybe Hollywood point 1 if you're defending with Hanzo. Maybe like there's like 1 or 2 maps where you're being a bit more stationary on defense, and then it comes in handy. But I just think Hanzo needs better perks, right? Even Genji's perks are his brother, like it's just so much better. Like they lean into his sustainability, which I don't understand why Genji's perks outside of like one, which is the bleed perk, like they tend to lean into just enabling survivability. Either he has the triple jump, either he has the lifesteal on Dragon Blade, or he comes with the deflect, allowing him to heal himself. It's like maybe the balance team knows that if Genji doesn't have survivability, the character will fall apart. But I kinda want them to try making him squishier and take him that direction and see how the hero fares out, but allowing him to be lethal. So again, the character just leans into the skill ceiling rather than the skill floor of, well, okay, he can kind of tank things and work things out. But honestly, with the state of the game right now and the way stuff is being power crept, I don't know. Maybe my statement's a bit awkward over there. So Hanzo, a good, like, good change. He definitely needs this, but he definitely needs new perks. Just awkward. Like, how can he hack a health pack for 30 seconds? Like, so I think Sombra's is not even that long. So weird, like just weird direction for the archer, right? Pharah, okay, so man, I accidentally, usually I read and I give my opinion and everything, but I just peeked at the changes anyway. And drift thrusters, so the minor perk movement speed while using barrage has been reduced by 20%. This is really bad for the character. This character is barely good right now, and there's a lot of stuff in the game that counters her, not to mention Cassidy has been buffed in the previous patches, and he needed it. I'm not going to sit here and deny that, but I think nerfing this for Pharah, which desperately she needed something like this, it's just ridiculous, right? Like, it's a ridiculous change to have This is such a fair character. There's no reason to approach it like this. Number two, concussive implosion. The distance pull reduced by 50%. This is so stupid. Like, why do we hurt transformative perks that allow for new gameplay ideas? That was the whole point of perks. And what are they doing? They're just like going in a big U-turn where they're like, yeah, you know those like cool perks that like transform the game. You know, we just don't think they should be that enjoyable. It just feels so weird, man. Like, it just feels so weird. I'm not a fan of the fire change at all. Whoops, I tapped out by accident. Let me go back into the patch notes. Gonna speed this up because it's getting way too late and I do need to sleep. Reaper major perk recovery time has been reduced from 0.7 to 0.5. This is nice. This is mostly quality of life. This perk is still a bit underwhelming. I'm not going to lie. I don't know how they could fix this perk, but the other one is 10 times better, like almost all the time. Soldier 76, so the stim pack major perk. Anti-heal has been removed. That's nice, but now it does 75 self-damage on use. This is stupid and ridiculous. Please just like stop trying to find a way to again, this is the same thing like I said about the fire thing, right? Like, cool transformative perks are being given unnecessary nerfs or changes that make them feel a little bit worse to use. Like, again, even fire, like both her transformative perks have been hurt, and soldier over here, technically this was supposed to be a net buff, but now it's just like an awkward like 75 self damage for no reason. So just very weird balance patch, all around. Sombra, fade in time has been increased and stealth reveal duration and taking damage increased from 1.1 to 1.3. Okay, so they just unironically nerfed Sombra, question mark. Like, I guess they saw her high ban rate and think that this character is meta and decided that, okay, we're just gonna like gut her even further. So for you guys that like want the easier version to understand what's going on here, it takes longer for her to get out of stealth and get into stealth. So it's a net buff and a net nerf at the same time, but in reality it's actually a big nerf, because you'll be able to contest her so much more. So now if you're playing anywhere that isn't silver, you can easily destroy this character, especially if you have Torbjorn. There should be no complaints about Sombra anymore. I need to see these weird waste of ban slots on Sombra go down. Widowmaker, oh my god, please tell me this is a nerf. Primary fire, maximum spread has been reduced. Like, I actually don't understand this balance patch. Like, why are we buffing Widow? Why are we buffing Widow? Widowmaker is a more map-dependent hero than most. Yeah, that's just the design of the character. And now with hero bans restricting her usefulness, we're looking to make her more viable in more situations. Why would you ever want that for possibly the most oppressive character in the game? We already have Sojourn, we already have Freya. Okay, Hanzo's kind of back on the menu, but to be fair, he's very, very inconsistent with his like ability to be quote-unquote oppressive with his one-shot. But Widowmaker is not that case. So they kind of want Widow to be played on a little bit more maps, but this is just buffing Widow's skill floor, right? Because if I'm not wrong, guys, didn't they nerf her spread before too? Like the base spread, this is the maximum spread. The base spread wasn't like, am I like recalling something wrong? Can somebody like refresh my memory in the comments? And then her damage has been increased as well. That's silly. This adds up, guys. Like, and don't forget, she did get the HP buff before as well. Then her deadly duo venom mine bonus damage increased from 50% to 100%. This is actually, this is scary. This is going to contest a lot of flankers that wanted to get on her, and good Widowmakers that like know like where flankers will usually be coming from and mark those routes. This is terrifying. This is bad. This is bad. I want to raise my voice and shout. People are asleep in my house. 11:45 p.m. on my side. You guys can see that on top right. This is Blizzard. This isn't it, guys. Like, we are slowly net buffing Widowmaker to where either she is a permaban or she just takes over the game. This is too much, Blizzard. Please, 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 please. What are we doing here? Such an awkward direction to look at Widowmaker. Understand that people don't like playing against her, and then say, well, we want to make her more viable in more situations. Just come on, guys. Oh wow. Oh wait. I just realized no Sojourn nerfs. No Sojourn nerfs. Wow. Wow, that's actually insane. No Sojourn nerfs. Wow. Support, Illari, please be a buff. Illari often has to move into high-risk positions to heal effectively. We want to extend the range on her healing beam so to give her more flexibility in how she positions supports her team. Wait. They think that her healing is putting herself at risk? Well, then all the supports put themselves in high-risk positions if that was the case. The only time Illari moves into a high-risk position is when she off angles to go and use her left click to do damage. So secondary fire's range has been increased. Why? This doesn't even help the character. Like, they're just turning her into an overglorified heal bot with Pylon. Why not, like, give her break? Like, make her, like, make her squishier. Like, I don't know if she's 225 or not, but make her 225 and do the same thing like I'm suggesting for Genji. Make her squishier. I hate Pylon. I love everything else about Illari, but I do hate Pylon. Because her gun feels so fun to use. Lean into her gunplay. You can even nerf Pylon further, whatever, like just even make it 1 HP. I don't care. Lean into just her gun, like allow her to be this fun hit scan version of like Moira, of resource management, landing your shots and healing. And just let Pylon be complementary. Like let Pylon come up for like maximum 5 seconds, do additional healing, and then drop, and then like rinse and repeat. Like make her like this really active character. It'll be so fun. Just this, like this is just ridiculous. Because this is not, Illari is one of the worst characters in the game right now. This, in my opinion, does not help her at all. This is, and even if it does it, it's just helping her in the wrong area. Because why are we encouraging heal botting? Why are we encouraging heal botting? Like, this is on Illari of all characters. Cannot believe that there was a point in the game where when she came in, she replaced Zenyatta, and now Zenyatta's 10 times better than her. What a world we live in. Oh no, man, not this guy. Oh my god. Healing Blossom, Primary Fire, auto charge rate increased. Why? What? Why? The opportunity cost to use Thorn Volley is still too high compared to constantly charging the Healing Blossom. Okay, then why don't you smoothen out the animations and the time it takes between the weapon swapping? That's literally the reason it's bad. We're improving the auto charge to make weaving damage between healing destination. So you just made the easiest character in the game. I'm sorry, Lifeweaver players out there. I'm gonna say it. You just made the easiest character in the game 10 times easier. And less risky to play. Like less like less like less player input, more the character playing the game for you. Man, what are we doing here, man? Super Bloom Major Perk, the number of hits to trigger it reduced from 20. Okay, this is nice. This is really nice. This should really help with this burst. I think it took too long. This is the one where if you're doing the damage, there's a little extra burst damage that pulls through. This is really nice to have because it took way too long to trigger that thing and it was pointless. So this is good. Overall, I can't lie, this is a very, very awkward patch. So before we end the video, we're just going to quickly drop into training range and have a quick look at the Genji change and the Hanzo change, because these are the characters that I play the most, so I would like to review them. I think they're the only ones that really matter, to be honest, and maybe the Rhine one as well. So we're gonna head over to Genji first, and yeah, 24 ammo, spamming this thing. Like, this is gonna hurt a lot in duels, in extended sustained duels is gonna feel really bad. But now let's have a quick look at the poke. So yeah, those are connecting really fast. But again, like in a real game where people are moving around and jumping everywhere, like, is this going to be effective? I will give a proper breakdown tomorrow, so stay tuned for that. But my biggest fear is that, like, this your muscle memory is going to be hurt because projectile speed changes is going to hurt you a lot. And there's already a character that has kind of gone through something like this. So Junkrat's major perk is basically like one of his major perks. Let me just like grab this thing real quick. One of Junkrat's major perks allows him to increase his projectile speed, and a lot of my good friends in the Junkrat community have told me that the reason they don't like this perk is it really hurts muscle memory and the way you do follow-up shots. And I felt the same way about like this, like using this, like there's a chance that like this can like hurt muscle memory and the way you've been used to doing your follow-up damage and everything. Man, look at that, like, oh my god, the reload happening right there, that feels horrible. So I don't know, like, definitely I want to try this type of stuff, but I'm not a fan of this direction shift. Also, just imagine if Genji turns into like this weird pokey snipey character who's just like a worse version of Freya at this point, right? I don't know, I'm not a fan. Like, you can feel the speed at closer ranges, but at longer ranges the poke just like the speed on the shurikens is barely felt. Who else got really interesting changes? I know Pharah's basically got like somewhat soft. I don't think she's like guttered, but I do think she's been nerfed heavily. Sombra probably feels much worse, right? Hold on, let me go into stealth. What does it look like? Ooh, okay. Yeah, you definitely feel that. And who else? Well, Freya, like, I've played Freya a lot when she was on the 4-second cooldown, so it's not that bad. Like, you'll definitely feel it in some circumstances, and it should allow for more downtime overall, but it's whatever. Then we have the Reinhardt changes. I think Reinhardt got like some really nice changes. Although I've like I said, like, Ryan is already 8 tier. I don't think Ryan needs buffs, but whatever. So hypothetically, in the chance that you slam something and then you just fire strike spam. Oh, this is really fast. Oh my god, they gave Ryan a machine gun. Oh my god, Ryan is actually insane. Okay, that's terrifying. But again, like the problem with that now as well is like, I play a lot of Reinhardt when I play tank. Like this just hurts your muscle memory, right? Because like ideally, like at least in team fights, you want to hold on to that fire strike before doing a follow-up shot. But now when you Earth Shatter and you're trying to do like these really quick shots, you're gonna definitely have to be a lot more conscious about your aim and the downtime before the next fire strike. So really weird directions that we're seeing happen across some characters, like lots of projectile speed and attack speed, things that are being changed. I think it's the same for Soldier, like for one of his major perks with Stim Pack. So I don't know, guys. Like, what are your thoughts down below? Again, I'm not overly a fan of Genji's changes because, like I said, I'd much rather they take him to 225, give him his lethality, and just like, like don't fix something that isn't broken. A character being a complement to the meta does not mean he's meta defining and requires these weird changes. And even if you do want to change him and you think like, oh, he is strong, why don't you nerf his HP? He literally fits the criteria of being a mobile character that does damage and all of this type of stuff, so he should have 225. I don't know, everybody. I'd like to hear your thoughts down below. It's 12 a.m. I'm way too tired and way too sleepy to properly go crazy and scream at the top of my lungs. A proper thoughts video out tomorrow where I'll definitely play him in scrims with people in high elo, people in mid elo. I'll play some quick play, maybe a couple of ranked games to really see how all this feels across the 3 different game modes and give my final conclusion on the current state of Genji. So see you in tomorrow's video.